So
Oh, see.
you know, I went to Howard though. I went to Howard, so
I'm a graduate of Howard. I'm a
oh,
graduate.
HU,
Yeah, HU.
yeah,
You know.
yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, you definitely know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're
It's
gonna go
definitely
ahead.
home. It's definitely home. It's 100% home.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll go ahead and start. Like I tell all my guests, we have a conversation. It's basically a conversation. It's not an
Yeah,
interview. I don't like to call it an interview. It's like just the dialogue that we can have with each
yeah.
other. Um, so number one, I want to thank you for talking with me today about everything that you're doing, especially this major year for people like us with Hurricane Katrina and everything like that. I definitely appreciate those type of things. Um, so I'll jump to my first question. It's been 2 decades since Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf South. What do you see as the storm's lasting legacy for Black and Brown communities today?
Yeah, the storms, well, it has two legacies. The storm's lasting legacy is that we are still dealing with storms. We're still not prepared. We're still, our community, particularly Black, Brown, Indigenous communities, are still being left behind.
Right.
And so that's the overt legacy. But the new legacy is that we're pushing forward. I think there's a generation that says that we want to end this climate crisis. As you know, from Louisiana, there's a 85 mile stretch of land between New Orleans and Baton Rouge called
Yeah,
Cancer Alley. That has petrochemical facilities, and so we want to stop that. So I think the legacy is one that we went through a trauma, but the other legacy is that we can get up, and that's consistent with how we are as a people.
definitely. And like you framed it that Katrina's just not a natural disaster, but it's something deeper than that already. You said Katrina was not just a storm; it was a failure of justice. What do you mean by that, and how does that shape your work today and what you're doing?
Well, for those who are watching, listening, I am the president of Hip Hop Caucus, which turns 21 years this year. But it also, I believe that Hurricane Katrina was literally parallel. Like, if it wasn't for Katrina, I don't think the caucus would exist, because it literally was in the strife, the pain of Katrina that made that. But what also made Katrina was unnatural because there were two aspects. One is the pollution, and that is caused, and the fossil fuel industry that's in Louisiana, but that also causes the climate crisis to get worse. But
Right.
also just the fact of the matter that being unprepared, just before, the fact of the matter that people were waiting for disaster to take communities, to be there to not take care of the Ninth Ward, but take care of the French Quarter. So I think that there are a lot of different things that happen. But again, how do we take Cancer Alley, for example, and move that from being Cancer Alley to Solutions Alley? How do we take these moments when we lost family and friends, but take it to be resilient, to push forth? And I think that's what we're doing on August 29th. So I'm excited, and I want all the people to know that on August 29th at 11:20, I don't care where you are, we're going to take a moment of silence, like for real, like whatever you are. Remember, I don't care. I mean, just know that we in a moment. Earlier this year, we
Right.
had wildfires. I mean, we've had floods through Texas. It's crazy, but again, if we come together, we can make change happen.
Definitely. And your message and everything about being a community and coming together on things like this. Because a lot of times people, I tell people sometimes like it felt like sometimes that people have forgotten, about New Orleans when it happened. Like everything, they saw what happened, but then after that, it was just like, all right, cool. And then even to this day, we still see like fractions on people's houses, and we know what those represent and those scenarios right there. Um, from Cancer Alley to the NLG communities, frontline communities are facing some of the worst environmental harms right now. What's one fight happening right now, and what urgently needs national attention?
I think the one thing is stop petrochemicals, because petrochemicals create plastic. People may not know that plastics are made from fossil fuels. Right now, we have so much plastic. Oh my goodness! We wrapping bananas with plastic. It's crazy. I
Right.
mean, glad it covers. Oh my goodness! And so we got everything in plastic. But now what's really crazy that we now it's in our bodies.
Right.
It's literally We are consuming a credit card size worth of plastic every single week. We're finding it in the mother's, in the womb, in the placenta. We're finding it in our brains. It's in men's bodies and women's bodies. It's all over, and it's killing us. And on the front lines in Cancer Alley, like literally, people are dying. So I would say stopping petrochemicals is probably. I mean, there's a lot. Unfortunately, we're in a time when there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
But that's probably one of the that's probably one of the key things there. And we have a lot of site fights that are happening. Site fights are places where we're actually going to the location. So we're going to the Blue Point complex, which is in Ascension Parish. We're saying shut it down. We're going to other areas in St. James Parish, like the Formosa plant, and don't come here. So I would say that's probably one. There's a lot of other things that we can get into, from voting and economic justice and healthcare, mental health. But I think that we can't do nothing on a dead planet.
Yeah. Definitely, I agree with that. Actually, you touched on something real quick that I was actually going to touch on when you brought up briefly about the voting rights and how everything is currently with our climate and environmental justice. What would you tell in the event that you are having to young voters right now, because we are in a definitely huge state in society right now of
Yeah,
what's going
it's
on
an
in the
emergency.
world. Right, exactly. What do you say to those individuals? How can young voters use their power in this fight currently?
Yeah. So voting is important. I don't. It's not the end all be all, but I kind of said like the ticket to get into the arena. If you ain't got it, you're not in the arena. And democracy is not. I repeat, it is not a spectator sport. You cannot do this on the sidelines. And so, what's very important here is that voting is the first step. And also people are watching the numbers. We have to show that we're not beaten and bruised and dismayed. And so we have to make sure that our numbers are just there, and they rise up. So step one is voting. But step two, I think, is gets into the awareness, and I think this is what Hip Hop Caucus is trying to use with our storytelling and narrative. And we have films coming out. We've done films, but I think that's where, and you can get on to hiphopcaucus.org. But the key thing there is around education. So I think that's the and knowing what's happening. We say at the caucus, from the suites to the streets. And so we got to just make sure that we understand what's happening. But it's under attack. Let me be very, very clear. We are living in a moment where, in many cases, we are at war,
Right,
and we're fighting for our lives. These companies I mentioned before, their business plan means a death sentence for our communities, and they are taking that money and putting it into the hands of politicians, to cause us to have shorter lives. And so
right.
we got to fight right now. And voting is one step. Being active and educated is step two.
Definitely. For individuals that want to join in the movement, because it's definitely a movement that you're doing, what's one action that you could tell people who are not in those certain areas or don't know, maybe they're outside of the culture. What do you say to those individuals that want to join in this fight and just tag along and be of good service to it?
Yeah, I mean, again, you can make sure you join on our social media, because that's the great thing about social media. I always say that the revolution may not be televised, but it will be uploaded. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
we gonna put that
In
thing on.
seconds, right? In
We're gonna
seconds.
put that thing on TikTok in seconds. We're gonna put that thing on social media. We're gonna put up there. So please check us out at Hip Hop Caucus to all our social, so you can know what's going on around the country and the globe. That's step one. And then two, I think that we have a myriad of campaigns that are like a menu item. Like I said, we have our economic justice campaign, the climate justice campaign. We got a bunch of campaigns that can be utilized. But most importantly, I think for you, one, so get involved locally. Local is where it's at, wherever you are. I don't care if you're in San Jose. It don't matter where you are, or Detroit. Get involved. But the next step is to take care of yourself. That to know that this is a marathon. It's not a
Right.
sprint. And you got to, and I mean that mentally and spiritually. You can't burn out. 'Cause right now, I see a lot of folks. getting overwhelmed by the moment. So just know that, and they're picking for those who are a little younger, those who are in our 20s, 30s, 40s. You know what I'm saying? Know that we in this for a long haul. So
Right.
make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you look at what you read and look at what you consuming. Your energy is very important. And I was that's the other thing. Make sure you in this for the long haul. Because, the Bible says the truth. This too shall pass. And so you want to be here. You don't want to have lost everything and you would have missed when the victory comes.
Definitely. And I have two more questions for you. The first question is going to be, what is next for you? What's going to be the next thing that you're going to be working on? Any projects or
Yeah.
anything like that? Because this is an ongoing fight.
Yeah.
Like you said, what's some things that you could possibly share with us that is coming up?
Well, for me, personally, I'm very proud of Hip Hop Caucus, and I'm
Yeah,
so glad that August now turns 21. We don't have many organizations that have turned 21 that also
exactly.
were started in the 21st century. Usually they were like the older ones, but so that's a great accomplishment that we have is to continue to make Hip Hop Caucus stronger. And again, people can check out hiphopcaucus.org to find out more about that. For me, I think, and there's Hip Hop Caucus as well. I think it's around storytelling and narrative. I've been very blessed to be able to be doing some advising with studios like Netflix, other spots like that about content. And I would say that I know that Caucus has a animation series that's coming out called Weathering the Storm. There's also Ryan Coogler has his documentary on Katrina.
Yeah,
Spike Lee has his documentary coming out. So I think that for me, how do we use our cultural expression to about political experience? Um, I want to continue to figure out how culture can create change. I think a lot of issues we have now are culture issues where people have kind of gone to their corners. But I think that we can break that, and I think that that's like hip hop. And for me, one thing, you go to a hip hop, you see black folk, you see white folk, you see all kind of folk there together
right.
because music brings together. So I'm trying to figure out how film and music and poetry can bring us together, and that's probably what's next for me. Or next, and with me with the Hip Hop Caucus.
Definitely, definitely. And what's some inspirational words you can give to anybody that's watching this right now? That we some of us are still going through the traumas that have happened as long as it's been 20 years ago, or are remembering certain things. What do you say to those people, or hope a message that you can give to those individuals?
Yeah, I would say no matter who you are, where you are, just know that you were born with a purpose. That's facts. Like you have a purpose, and if you haven't found it yet, or don't understand what it may be, there's a purpose, and it could be big, small. It don't even matter, but you have a purpose. One, find that purpose, and live that purpose out, and make it happen. And I will also say that this is for me, and everybody, it might be different for others, but for me, what has been my successful, and I think I've done pretty well, is that when you live for others, you gain. You can't outbless God.
Right.
And so don't be selfish. And I'm telling you, it's sometimes it feels hard because you feel like you're not getting it. It'll turn around. The more you give, the more you look out for your people and your community. Oh my goodness. They say the windows of heaven will open up. So I'm telling you, if you continue to fight for your people, you will be blessed like none other.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with Snub Magazine today, Reverend Yearwood. It's an honor
No,
and
most
a privilege.
definitely. Yeah, and I know we both HU Howard University grads, so you know what I mean. Gotta get over the
Yeah.
Mecca. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. So again, thank you so much for anything else that you have coming up. Let us know. We would definitely love to support you in this fight, and continue to do the great work that you're doing. I'm grateful for it, and I'm sure everybody that's watching it will be grateful as well.
Nah, thank you. Appreciate you. Keep pushing.
Absolutely. You have a good one. All right.